Today we're going to be inspired by an artist named Alma Thomas. She was the first African American woman to have a solo art show in the Whitney Museum, and she even had her work displayed in the White House. She was often inspired by things in nature, and her paintings kind of looked like mosaics, artworks that were made out of glass or tile. And her paintings looked like mosaics because she used long and short dashed lines with spaces in between to create her paintings. A lot of Alma Thomas's paintings were either made of circles or vertical lines. So today you'll get to choose if you'd like to make your painting into concentric circles or striped lines. Let's talk about some tips for painting before we get started. If you decide to do circles like Alma Thomas, you'll trace a lid onto your paper and then paint the inside of the circle. When you're painting lines around your circle, if your paintbrush is leaning to the side and you paint with it laying down, you can get nice and big strokes, paint strokes, that are really thick and wide. Wash off and dry by making an X on SpongeBob and then going into a new color. When you want to make thin strokes, your paintbrush, Mr. Paintbrush, can stand on its tippy toes and create thinner lines. You can see how thin that is compared to that big one. So I'm going to keep going all the way around my circle. They can be short or they can be long. And it's going to start to go off my paper and come back onto it. So when you lean it down, they're really wide, or you can stand it up and make it thin. Don't forget to wash and dry your brush before going into a new color. Play around with the length, how short or how long your lines are, and how thick or thin they are to fill your whole paper. If you would like to do a painting with vertical lines, you don't need to trace a circle. We will just go straight in with our paint. I'm going to wash off my brush, dry it, and grab a new color. Here I wanted to show you an oops that I made. I dropped some pink paint because I had too much on my brush and it fell onto my paper. I turned it into a beautiful oops by adding pink dots right on top of my blue because I saw that my blue was already dry and it would not smear. Here you can see that I can make very thin lines by having Mr. Paintbrush tiptoe on its very tippy toes. I can't wait to see what kind of paintings you all create. Have fun! At sink number 1, you're going to put your brushes in the used brush bucket. It's either going to be this small one or the big blue bucket. There's already water in there, so our paintbrushes can soak with the hairs in the water. If you have paint on your fingers, you can grab a wipe, pull out just one, and then wipe your fingers and wipe your table. You're going to have it on top of your messy mat, and you're going to show me your lobster fingers with 2 hands pinching the 2 sides of your messy mat, and you'll carry your painting on your messy mat to the drying room. When you're carrying it, we can turn it to fit on the side so that someone else can bring their painting too, and we can fit 2 on the shelf. When it's full and there's no more room, you can go ahead and put a shelf down. You don't need to put the shelf down when there's still room on the drying rack right there. So only put the shelf down when it's full.